What's up, YouTube? I'm back in the still standing garage, and today I'm working on the 78 Monte again. Took it out for a drive the other day. Ran well, didn't have any issues at all. He parked it. It's been a week now, and this is a surprise I get. I get all this tranny fluid coming out of there. I'm pretty sure it's coming out of the Speedo gear housing. So there's a seal in there that was leaking last time I changed the speedometer cable, and I was working on the cluster over here and taking care of that. That's the whole reason I drive it, is to make sure I take care of everything before I take it on longer trips. So let's get that going and see what it is. All right, YouTube, so I'm under the car. This is the driver's side. As you can see, it's leaking from right there, right from the speedometer cable. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the speedometer cable. Gotta loosen it up with some channel locks. I do have a catch can down here because once I remove the gear, it is gonna leak the transmission fluid from there, and it's gonna be a significant amount of transmission fluid. So I don't want to make more of a mess than I already have made. So let's take this off. It shouldn't leak. It shouldn't leak way too much from here. It should be leaking from when I remove the gear. You'll see right now. So let me remove that, move that out of the way. So there's a bolt on this side. It's right here. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it looks like it's a 10 millimeter. Got to remove that. That's retaining the gear in there. And yup, it's a 10 millimeter. So let's remove that. It wasn't on there too tight, so that's good. Then the clip and the bolt comes off. Let me see if it'll come off with me just tugging on it, but I doubt it. So I'm gonna grab with some channel locks away from the threads, hopefully, and I could just pull it straight out. There it is. And there's all that transmission oil coming out. I made a bit of a mess because it's going down the transmission cross member. It's going on the rest of the garage here, but it's all good. I'm catching it now. All right, here's another view of the opening there. You can see the gear inside of there, and you can see the opening and then where the bolt goes as well for the retaining clip. Catching all the transmission oil over here. So let's go to the bench and look at the gear, and I'll show you what seal is the one that's leaking. All right, so here's the piece that I took off. This is a BOP transmission. It's a little bit bigger. There's another one that has just this piece right here. I'll put a picture of it on the screen for reference. It's just this piece right here, but it pretty much does the same thing. It has the gear in the back, and the gear goes through the piece right here, and then your speedometer cable goes in there. It threads on here. When it rotates on the shaft of the transmission over there, it rotates, and that's what gives you the miles per hour there. So mine is leaking from right here, this seal right here. I do want to replace that one, and I also want to replace this one. Even though this one, the O-ring here wasn't leaking, I still want to replace it. And another thing to check too is on these right here, is you want to check, see if there's any grooves on there. Any wear and tear there that could possibly be causing it to damage the seal. But it looks like this one's pretty good, so I don't think I have a problem there. So I'm going to go check out an AutoZone or O'Reilly, see if they have these seals, both of these right here, and then see if I could replace them today. If not, then I'm going to have to put in an order online. So let me see if I can find them. For you guys, it's going to be like a second, so let's go. And you know what? While I'm here, I'm going to remove the seals. Might as well. So let's take this one off with the pick. Be careful not to scratch the shaft. This one looks like it has two of them. There's another one in there. Let me see if I can take that one out too. Let's take off this one. I'm using a different style of pick. I don't know if you can see that right there. The camera will focus. Just kind of go in there. Like I said, be careful not to scratch the shaft over here. Take this one out. There's like a little retaining ring there. I'm thinking these guys put two of them in there because it was already leaking, and they thought that it was going to be a good idea to put two of them in there, which didn't turn out all that great for them. So this is why, another reason I don't trust mechanics. I had this transmission rebuilt a very long time ago, and this is what they did. I think these are just supposed to have one. They put, like I said, two. So we had one in there, this one, and then we had the little retaining ring that goes in there to hold it in, right? And then we had a second one, this one right here, right at the very tip. So I'm gonna do some research, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to just have the one and then the retaining ring, and then you're good to go. But I'm thinking, like I said, these guys probably thought, you know what, it's leaking, let me just throw another seal in there and we should be all right. And here we are. Oh, forgot to take off this one. Gotta take off this one too. So let's go in there, same thing, be careful not to scratch anything, and then take it out. This comes off. And there it is. So we can get that O-ring. And a week later, got the seals in. It even came with the retainer ring in there. So I got these from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description so that way you guys can check it out if you guys need those. So let's try to put these on here, see how it plays out for us. So I'm gonna put this one in there first. What I gotta do is plop it in like so, and then grab a small screwdriver here, flathead. It does feel real tight compared to the other ones, the old one, on how it's going in, so that's a good sign there. I do want to try the gear to see how it feels inside of there, see if it feels nice and tight too, because that's gonna make me feel better that it's actually sealing properly. Okay, looks like it's all in there. Now let's add the retaining ring. I'm only adding one seal, not like those other guys. So let's see if I could actually make it go in there. Oh, it's kind of hard. Try not to lose it. Plop it in there. One thing I learned too is that this housing here is actually plastic. They make them in aluminum, but this one here, because you can see somebody painted over it, see the black there, all the black, it's actually plastic. I thought it was aluminum and somebody just painted it black and then went with orange over it, but it's actually plastic. So if this one doesn't work out, then I'll probably end up buying the aluminum one, which is not a bad idea. I like the look of it too. I don't like this painted stuff like this. Damn, it's really tight. It's really gonna hold it in there. And there it is. The retainer ring is in there. It's nice and snug. Let's see if how this feels when I plop it in. Oh yeah, you can feel the difference. With the other one, as soon as I let go of the gear, it will fall out because it wasn't sealing properly. So that's really, really good. Yeah, you can feel the difference. Oh yeah. So we're good with that. Let's grab the brand new O-ring. I did clean these all out, by the way. I took off as much of the paint as I could in this area here, in the groove here, and then inside of there. But it looks like the paint's still coming off, like on the outside, and you can see all like the chips all over me. So like I said, if this one doesn't play out, I'll buy the aluminum one. I'd rather get that one. This one's pretty simple. It's good to go. There it is. It's all put together. No extra seal there. Leave those two out. Let's go. Alright YouTube, there was one thing I forgot to mention about this seal, so I'll show you on this old one here. These seals have two faces. It has a side that has a groove, and then it has this flat side. So the flat side faces out, and this goes in. And that's pretty much it. There you go, let's go try it out. I'm gonna clean up the surface here, just to make sure that everything's looking real good. Make sure everything seals properly. Get that nice and cleaned up. I'm checking to see if there's any grooves in there, but it feels real smooth, so I think I'm ready to go. So one thing I did is I did put a little bit of transmission oil on the O-ring seal there, so that way it could help in the installation and also for sealing purposes here. Got it orientated to where my retaining clip stays on there. So you see this groove right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, here and here. That's where the retaining clip sits, and it looks like it was pretty much like this. So let's see if I could plop this in. It's feeling kind of tight there, so I'm not sure if the teeth in there are lining up. Maybe that's the problem. There it goes. There it goes. Gotta make sure it goes in there really good. There it is. It looks like I'm gonna have to turn it a little bit with the channel locks because it's not lined up for the retaining ring to go in there. properly. Now that I know that this is plastic, I just want to make sure that I'm not squeezing too hard, cause any problems over here later on. Let me see if that's it right there. A little more. Right there, perfect. Plop in the bolt, tighten this up. Not too tight because it wasn't tight anyways. That's good right there. All right, it's time for the speedometer cable. I already cleaned it off camera, so it's good to go now. Line it up, screw it on there, and then we'll tighten it up with the channel locks to finish it off. Let's hit it with the channel locks, not too tight either. That's good right there. The last wipe down. Looks like I lost about 1.5 quarts of transmission oil, so I gotta go get some so we can fill it back up and try it out, see if it's leaking. I ended up adding about 3 quarts of oil. I miscalculated. I thought it was gonna be 1.5 quarts, but it is what it is. So now I drove the car for about 30 miles and I parked it. It's been about a week since it's been sitting. So as you can see right here, there's no leak so far. I mean, at least not as bad as it was before. So let me see if we could look down there. Got a light over here. So there's no leaks down there. Let me see if we could look up there into the actual thing over here. As you can see, there's no leaks right now. Everything looks pretty dry. So we're looking good right now. I'll keep driving it, keep testing it, see if there's anything else that needs to be fixed. I do have other parts that I need to install. I am working on the stereo next. Get that going. It's a 8-track, so we'll get that moving. Thank you for watching. G-Body still standing. Let's go.